So that was a young mother that's just very upset because her daughter decided to call the police on her. And I want you to kind of listen to what she says, because a lot of times as Black parents, we don't really discuss a lot of issues with children too much. We talk about relationships, we talk about racism, we talk about everything else. We really don't discuss being parents. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Don't call the police on me. My child called the fucking police on me, y'all, because I asked her to write down her social media passwords, and then I took her phone. Now, I won't go too deep into the reasoning, but as a parent, it's your job to monitor your children and what they do, and if they're minors, what they're spending and how they're spending their money. My child, and what's crazy is I've only seen this in the movies. You only see it on social media. You only see it on TV. I watched my child I watched my child turn into a whole Karen on me. And the sad thing about it is, what do you do? I have a child who battles mental issues, and it's no problem for me to say that out loud. I'm not embarrassed, and obviously my child isn't, because my child will say it to anybody who will listen, or, portray the role in front of anybody who will listen. But I watched my child go into a fit. A 2024 Gen Z fit, y'all. That's not even the full problem. I've been through so much with my child, and this is my truth. I ain't never spoke on nothing I've been through as a parent. I ain't spoke on the fact that my child has a last name that doesn't even belong to her father. Pretty much belongs to his girlfriend or baby mama that he's been with all my child's life, because he lied to me about that. He lied to me about having a family. He lied to me about so much. Cool. I've raised this child 16 years as of 2 days ago. And when I say I've never had support, I've never had genuine help, I thank God for my mom and brother who did do things over the years, as far as watching her for me or babysitting, or, I'm thankful for my brother, because my brother's tried to be, bless his heart, he has tried to be more of a father to my child than her own.
Now, a lot of these kids today really think that they're entitled to a cell phone, they're entitled to social media, they're entitled to all this, and they don't pay for anything, and they just think that you have to provide that. That's not actually a necessity at all. It's not. I remember one time, my daughter had acted up one time, and I said, listen, you do something again, we'll give you a phone, but it's gonna be a track phone. Go look up what a track phone is. At least in that time period, it was basically just a phone. You had a cell phone, you could call, you can text, but that's most of what you can do. It wasn't, you couldn't get no apps on it, you couldn't get any of that. It was meant for you to call and text. That's it. And her keeping that phone about a good 3 months, she was embarrassed to have that phone because she didn't want nobody to see it. We never had a problem with her again. Or if a child want to act up with you, or whatever, no, don't let them have them phones. Now, because like I said, I understand that you need to communicate with them or whatever, but give them the most basic phone you can. Buy one and say, hey, you act up, this is the phone you're about to get. I'm going to take that other one. It's just that simple. She also talked about that child calling the police. Our children should be raised to understand what the police really is, at least to the Black community. See, to the folks, that's their foot soldiers, that's their personal bodyguards. For us, that can be a potential death wish. right? And we don't call them unless we just can't solve the problem. Understand? I was raised like that. You don't put the police in our business. Our business is our business. Now, if you have to call them, then because the moment you call them into family business, you done lost all control at that point. You calling them to come get in your situation. And I remember Cousin Edna, I'll never forget her, may she rest in peace. Cousin Edna had said to her kids, you ever call the police on me, you're going to go with them. You say, because no child going to ever stay in my house and you call the police on me. And it's not that Cousin Edna was abusing, because, today everything's abuse, everything is this and that and the third. You know what I'm saying? That's why America is the way it is today. You can't tell your kid nothing. You can't do this. You can't do that. That's why, beyond with you, the way it's going, unless you got a real, tight upbringing, you bringing your child up in a certain way, keeping your child in certain environments, and you just throw them to American public, your child is going to be hell on earth. Then listen to the age she said, 16. I'm going to tell all you black parents something. From 12 on up to 18, you're going to go through it with them children. Because I don't know what it is about that teenage stage. It is a hard stage to deal with. I went through it with my daughters, right? I went through it, but I learned. I went through some things with my son too, but I learned. Now I have one more child, that will be going through that in a few years, because all the lessons I learned there, I know how to deal with it over here. You understand? And it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of prayer and a lot of strength sometimes not to do something you going to regret later to one of them children, especially when they getting jazzy at the mouth and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So for her to hear that basically she's a single mother, and we know statistically, children don't fare out too well in single parent households. I mean, you just look at the statistics. The majority of inmates in prison come from single parent households. The majority of dropouts in high school come from single parent households. You understand? I mean, it's a plethora of issues that happen in a single parent household. And that's why we have to do everything we can to prevent that. We need to have the attitude as a man. If she's not worth your last name, then you don't impregnate her. And if it's a woman, if he don't give me his last name, then he's not getting my womb. And if we can do that, we can eliminate some of these issues and problems. You understand? Because there's a lot of parents right now that's really going through it with the kids. Oh, yes. Trust me, I understand. I know today they try to be like, oh, well, what the daughter has to say and this and that and the third. Them children want to do whatever they want to do. Because American society don't have no checks and balances when it comes to these kids. One thing I appreciate about other countries, like let's say Latin America, the Caribbean, African nations, Asian nations, Arab nations, the parents control them kids. Them kids can't get out of line in those countries. It's not acceptable. But in this country, a lot of times Western societies, let's say, but I'm gonna keep more so to America, they want to let these kids do whatever they want to do. These kids can run your house, run you, demand you have them a cell phone, demand you go buy them $300, $400 shoes, and if you don't do it, I'm a act a fool. So I'm praying for your parents that they're dealing with some teenagers, but you know what? And you wonder why some people want to put their kids out at 18. You wonder why. Because after going through all that mess with them, because see, at 16, you can't really put them out legally. When they get 18, they still got this attitude. Hey, you 18 now, brother. You 18 now, sister. Get your bags and get on out of here, because I don't got to deal with you no more. Now, because see, they want to shame parents for you shouldn't be putting your kids out at 18. If you acted like a devil, I ain't got no problem with a parent putting you out, because you don't respect your parents. You don't respect their house. You want to be grown, go be grown outside that house. Well, why is it that parents have to be subjected to any kind of, y'all always talking about abuse, why parents got to be subjected to verbal abuse? Why parents got to be subjected to gaslighting from their own children? No. One thing I believe in, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if it's a child, my child, any of my family, so you supposed to be my friend or whatever. If you start abusing me like that or whatever, you got to go. I'm not going to have nobody around me that's going to be making it a habit to abuse me. I'm like, look, my children, I love them, But you're going to stay over there for a time until you get your act right. Then we can come back and talk. You're not going to sit up here and treat me any kind of way. Trust me. I know about it. And when kids get grown, sometimes in their house, they think they grown. And then when they get a taste of that real world, sometimes they come right back to you and say, oh, yeah, everything you said was right. I'm sorry about how I acted. You understand what I'm saying? So don't let nobody tell you wrong when you put your kid out, when they were treating you any old kind of way. Anybody else on the street, you'd have popped them in their mouth for talking to you like that. Anybody else on the street would have did you certain things, you would have, trust me, it would have been a problem. But your child, just because they're your child, you're supposed to sit up here, and we talking about this teenager, a 16, 17-year-old, treating you any old kind of way, but you're supposed to take it? Let me tell you something. Don't let them kids put you in the ground. I've seen it in my own life where a parent let their grown kids too, put them in the ground. They're not here no more. I know one lady right now, not here no more, behind her kids. And that lady was such a good lady. We used her for a lot of our parties and things like that. And I remember last time I really it was my little cousin, and we did a christening with her, and that's the last time I seen that lady. But that lady, I didn't know that lady was going through so many problems with her children. Don't let them children do that to you. Don't. Well, that parent right there, if that girl keep acting like that, you know what I would tell that mama? She had talked to me. Look, when that girl turn 18 and she keep treating you like that, she got to go. Don't let that girl put you in the ground, because when you are dead and gone, she gonna go on and do what she want to do. She ain't worrying about you. I'm a firm believer in that. But see, I'm old school. I'm not this new age millennial or Gen Z thinking. That's not me. I wasn't raised like that. Just because you're your child doesn't mean you have to take any kind of treatment from them.